Howdy folks, Chief Meteorologist Nick Lillia here. Take a look at your tropical update for September 3rd of 2020, brought to you by the good folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling. They do roofs too, tell you that by experience. Alright, so as we head through the rest of the season, left on the list, Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. 6 of them. That's it for names left. We've run the gambit. I got to tell you, folks, that it has been quite the busy season around here, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. And I've got evidence of that from the National Hurricane Center, with 3 areas that they're watching currently off the coast of Africa. Count them up: 20 to 70% chance of development for this area here. That's where the red X is. That's that little cluster of storms as it drifts kind of off and to the north and east. Then we've got no real threat over the next couple of days, but through 5 days, about a 20% chance of development for the thunderstorms that are coming off of the coast of Africa. And then this other area with a 20 to 40% chance of development as we head through the next 2 to 5 days. So there's 3 areas they're watching. Omar and Nana are kind of non-issues at this point. Omar has fallen apart, although I will say there is a chance that a little nugget of Omar breaks off and turns into something. Nana may get into the Pacific and turn into something as well. We'll talk about that right meow. We've got this little piece. That is a little piece right in there. That's a terrible circle. That's a little piece of Nana right there that may reform into the Pacific. And then here's barely the sliverest of slivers of what's left of Omar. And then we've got one area here, one area here, one area here, one area here. Yeah, you may say to yourself, golly, Nick, it seems like there's a lot going on. And you're right, though the peak of hurricane season is coming up here in about 5 days. So this is kind of right on schedule. So we've got kind of a couple of areas kind of coming together in here. We've got this little area in here. We've got now this one into here in the Atlantic, and then kind of an amalgamation of different little clusters back in behind that one there. And this is as we head into Labor Day, September 7th, into the afternoon. At that point, 4 areas worth watching out there in the Atlantic. We'll ride this through Tuesday and Wednesday, and you can see that the one cluster is still rather clustery, but this one's looking pretty healthy. We've got another little area here, and then a very disorganized area hanging around the peninsula of Florida. And so still, as we head towards September 9th, again leading into the peak of hurricane season, we still have 4 areas to watch in the Atlantic. And as we head through Thursday and into Friday, notice that this one kind of hangs off of the coast of the Carolinas and isn't really making any headway. We've got this one still out here. This one really hasn't moved much, though it does look like in the modeling it tries to get a little better organized. And same goes into the Gulf of Mexico. The question is, right now, in the big ridge of high pressure up here, there's actually going to be another one. I'll only do part of it because it's going to be back up behind the banner. I guess I can write over the banner. It'll be kind of under the banner here, and the flow around here is going to be kind of kinked like that. The question becomes, this divot in this area here, does this erode away and slide north right here, allowing this one to also escape back in behind it, or does this never form into much of anything, leaving the ridge to remain stout, pushing this one a little further this direction? If this one isn't here, what does that do to this one here? And if this one's got a free pass over here, what happens to the one that's back over here? So there's still a lot of questions, unfortunately, as we look out into the future like this, for how all of this is going to shake out, and why what you see here is certainly not set in stone. And as we head through Saturday and Sunday, you can see that this makes its kind of a beeline toward Louisiana and the Texas coastline. This is still spinning around here doing nothing. The ridge over here is kind of falling apart, and let's draw a little bit better here. Sometimes the pencil has a tough time keeping up. And this one is drifted off to the north because you get a breakdown on the ridge, and it kind of splits like this, allowing this one to escape here. This one doesn't really move because it's got a push that's coming this direction, and then it's getting another push that's kind of keeping it locked in here, and then this one slides underneath it all. again, we'll kind of wait and see. But it is going to be pretty active out in the tropics as we head through the most active time, September 10th, the peak of hurricane season. So don't let your guard down on the tropics. I know that there's been some conversation floated around out there that, in the States we don't really have to worry about anything for a while because the overall pattern isn't conducive for a U.S. mainland strike in the next couple of days. However, that doesn't mean that beyond the next few days or the next week that it's not going to get active out there, and what's out there may eventually get a little bit closer to us. So there's a look at your tropical update for September 3rd of 2020. As always, I'm brought to you by the folks at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling.